Well, as you can see, once again, I get dragged back into this drama bullshit, and the reason is because there's so many fucking stupid people out here that I can't get away. I mean, I know I should just walk away. I should walk away when I see dumbasses and just say, well, dumbasses will be dumbasses. But, you know, I can't. Because I guess in the hopes I'm trying to make them at least use their fucking head a little. But even though that's impossible, I'm hoping at least somebody who might be on the fence, maybe not as close-minded as the dumbasses, would at least hear the contrary side to it and learn something. So here I am again, and this is a response to Soup Excellency, or Voice in the Head, his video, but it's really not a response to him. It's a response to Together for Peace, who Voices in the Head was responding to. I hope I didn't lose you on that one. But the reason I'm not responding straight to Together for Peace, because he made it very clear in his video that if you basically attack religion, then he's not going to allow the response. He's not a very honest person. Actually, he's typical Christian. He's very dishonest. Because the opposition to gay marriage is religion-based. That's where most of it comes from. So I'm just going to address it, and if he wants to watch it, he can. I'll even allow his responses, even though he doesn't give that courtesy to people, because he's a fuckhead. But anyways, one of the comments I made in Voices in the Head's response was separate is never equal, and that is true. Then you had some kind of foolish little asshole say, well, is a woman's room equal to a men's room? Like somehow we're going to equate civil rights with facilities. I mean, does he really believe that? Is he that fucking stupid? Maybe so, or maybe he's just another dishonest Christian. Point is, we're going to discuss the separate but not equal. Separate is not equal. And we're going to put it in these terms. I'd like for you Christians out there, and you Muslims, to open your mind for a second. I know it's a big that's a big request, but give it a shot. Let's imagine for a moment that a very loud and vocal powerhouse of a group started saying, marriage was first mentioned in the Bible in the Old Testament before Christianity. And it was later mentioned in the New Testament by Jesus, but Jesus actually said that people should leave their wives and leave their families to join him. So making, if not a clear statement, a hint at the idea that he's really not all about marriage. He didn't really put much importance on it. So therefore, they believe that marriage was more of a covenant granted by God to them as Hebrews, and never meant for non-Hebrews, because, you know, it was something that God discussed with them. Of course, you know, that shit can always be argued by any group, but that's not the point of this. Let's say that group came up with that. And as far as your arguments go, you know, there's arguments against, you know, gay marriage, and those arguments can be argued. So that's why I'm going to ignore that part. Let's just say the group came up with this. And then said, so we don't think that Christians or any non-Hebrews should be allowed to be married. They can have a civil union, but the term marriage is more of a Hebrew thing. Mentioned before Christianity, okay? So it's a covenant between the Hebrews and God. You can't have that anymore. You Christians, you Muslims, no marriage. But you can have civil unions. And we're going to afford you all the rights of marriage in those civil unions. Now, the people who are talking about civil unions for gay people don't even start to realize that the majority of places that have some kind of civil union rules, they don't even afford 100% of the rights that marriage has. So they're already, on that basis, they're not equal. But we're going to go on the premise that you get all the same rights. There's no difference except for the name. Hebrews get to call it marriage. Christians, Muslims, everybody else, civil unions. Christians and Muslims out there, let me ask you something. Would you accept that? They're equal, right? Same rights, 100% same rights between marriage and civil union. But because you're Christian and not Hebrew, you don't get to call it marriage anymore. You never should have in the first place, because it wasn't yours. Would you accept that civil union thing? Or would you quibble over the word, marriage? Because at that point, if you're getting all the same rights, it's just quibbling over a term, right? My guess is there's not a snowman's chance in hell that you would accept such a thing. You would demand on your unions being called marriage. Why? Because there's a lot to a word. The term marriage has a connotation, a certain emotion attached to it, a certain feeling, a certain image to society that civil union would never have. And because of that, you would never take the term marriage, because you consider marriage to be the sacred unity between you and your wife. But you would not consider a civil union to be that same sacred unity. Even though you would have all the same rights and privileges awarded to the Hebrews that were married. Now you tell me, if that scenario came up, would you still say marriage and civil unions are equal?